When we talk about democracy, Nepal's story is anything but straightforward. For decades, the country has been in constant flux. It drifted through feudalism, slid into autocracy, and has since struggled with a fragile democracy. The monarchy was once the soul of Nepal, and in the year 2001, King Gyanendra stood as its symbol. He wanted to open the kingdom. He wanted more democracy in Nepal, but his own family did not share that vision. And then tragedy struck. On June 1st that year, his son, Crown Prince Dipendra, walked into a family gathering. He opened fire, killing 8 members of his own bloodline. This included his father, the king. And then he turned the gun on himself. In a bizarre turn, Dipendra was proclaimed king while in a coma. His so-called reign lasted just 3 days. He died too, and his uncle Gyanendra took the throne. For a while, Nepal remained a constitutional monarchy. But in 2005, Gyanendra tore up that promise. He dismissed the parliament, he locked up politicians and journalists, he declared an emergency and seized power for himself. Nepal fought back. Thousands poured into the streets and their message was clear: the king must go. And he finally did. He was forced to step down in 2006. Then in 2008, the monarchy was abolished. And since then, Nepal has been a secular republic. But here's the problem. There has been no stability in Nepal. They've seen 14 governments in the last 17 years. 15 if you count the fall of the current Oli government. That's 15 governments in 17 years in Nepal. It is like a revolving door of coalition politics. Prime ministers come and go, ousted leaders return only to be toppled again. Alliances are forged, then they are broken. And with each turn, each regime seems even more fragile, more incapable than the last one. This has left Nepal in a constant state of flux. And obviously that has consequences. Inflation is soaring and corruption runs rampant. In fact, these protests were about corruption too. The trigger was the social media ban, but the protesters said that they were fed up of the corruption. The unemployment rate is 12.6%. It is even higher among the youth. In the age group of 15 to 29, unemployment in Nepal is at 20%. More than 70,000 Nepalis left the country. More than 700,000, I'm sorry. 700,000 people left the country from 2023 to 2024. This was in search of jobs and a better life. Last year, an average of 65,000 people, 65,000 young people from Nepal left the country every month. Yes, that's 65,000 every month. They went abroad to look for jobs. Now, that's a very high number for a country of 30 million. That makes Nepal heavily dependent on remittances. In fact, 33% of their GDP comes from personal remittances, a number that has gone up rapidly in the last 30 years. So the economy literally runs on the money sent back by those who left. The youth are frustrated. They see no jobs, no fair opportunities, and no future at home. And this frustration has boiled over. Another trigger were the so-called Nepo kids. Now, these are children of politicians and powerful bureaucrats. Ordinary youth are leaving the country to work abroad, but these Nepo kids are flexing designer clothes, showing off luxury cars and posing at beach resorts in the Maldives and Paris cafes. It is a blatant display of privilege. And for many Nepalis, that has become the last straw. What we are seeing is not just a rejection of one government or one party, it is an open revolt against nepotism, against political elitism and decades of impunity. A whole generation is now asking, why should they struggle for dignity while the children of the powerful live like royalty? And in that question lies the real crisis of Nepal's democracy. Nepal wanted democracy to be a promise of freedom, but for many, it has become a cycle of disappointment. The dream was that power would rest with the people. Instead, it remains trapped in the hands of a few. The monarchy is gone, but the mindset of entitlement remains. And until that changes, Nepal's democracy will remain fragile.